Hi, my name's Krista. I wanted to make a video because I've had a lot on my mind lately, and I just wanted to share my thoughts. About a week ago, I watched a video made by BuzzFeed called More Than Friends, and it was about a lesbian who fell in love with a straight girl. And on top of that, I watched a video by the Young Turks a couple days ago, and they were talking about a politician who believed homosexuality was a choice. And in the BuzzFeed video, I replied to a comment that a female made, and she said, "It depends on the environment that you're raised in. If you're raised in a strictly religious environment, then you're going to grow up to believe that homosexuality is wrong, and you're not going to be able to become a homosexual." And, I related to that a lot because, people have this closed-minded view of, it's black and white. It's all the same. You choose, you don't, whatever. But my story, my dad is a preacher, and he was a worship leader at a church. And I was in the church band for a while, and, we went to church every Sunday, Sunday night, Sunday morning, Wednesday nights, whenever they wanted us there. Like, we were always there. I was definitely raised in a church. My mother's father is also a preacher, and my father's father is a deacon at a Baptist church. So I definitely was raised in a very religious home, reading the Bible every night. And, in my time being there, I was told that homosexuality was an abomination, and, it was an unforgivable sin. And the only way that God could forgive you is if you, change. And, it resonated with me. It really did. And when I was about 15, I couldn't hold back my feelings anymore. And I grew up homophobic. I hated gays. They were wrong. I thought they were dirty, disgusting people. And, for me, this is probably not for everybody, but for me, I felt like that because I was ashamed of what I was feeling inside. So when I was 15, I came out to my family, and I was most terrified about coming out to my mother because obviously since her father was a pastor and she grew up in it for decades, she was set in her beliefs that was wrong. So when I told her, that I think I'm gay, like I'm attracted to females, she told me that it was a homosexual spirit. And what that means is she believed that all of us homosexuals have the same spirit in us, and that is why we all dress the same, and that's why we all act the same, because in her mind, she only knew lesbians as, wannabe thugs who wear fitted hats, and men, paint their fingernails and act feminine and become drag queens. Like, that's all she knew. And so until, later in my life, she started opening up and learning, because her daughter was in that community, that there's multiple people out there, all different backgrounds. They all have their different stories. They're all their own individual people. And, it was really, really hard for me to come out with a religious family. When I first came out, I had nightmares every night. I woke up in cold sweats because I kept thinking I was going to go to hell, and I had dreams about hell. And because of that, I turned my back on religion. I didn't want to be a part of something that wouldn't accept me. I didn't want to be a part of something that I had to be something I'm not, out of fear. Like, that's all it was. It was fear. So, it's definitely hard. And for me, it wasn't a choice. Growing up in that type of environment, if I had an opportunity to choose to be straight or gay, I would have chose to be straight in a heartbeat, because, I hated seeing my family disappointed. I hated rejecting my religion, and I hated being alone. I hated being judged. And, no one forced me to be gay. I didn't know anybody gay. Like, everybody I knew around me was straight. Everybody I went to school with, they were straight. So that wasn't something that I was influenced by. I was definitely in a non-homosexual community. But I accepted who I was, and because of that, I can live, and I'm happy. And, all I wanted to say was to the people out there who are dealing with coming out or the rejection of people, I just want you to know that you are not alone. I know it feels like it a lot of the time, but don't give up. Just be who you are. Find people to talk to. There's a huge community out there, and they're there with their arms wide open, and it is hard, and I'm sorry that you have to go through that. And for everybody else who likes to hate on us and put us down, I just want to say, life is hard enough without that shit. I also would just like to say, you have the right to your opinions, you have the right to your feelings and to your beliefs, and nobody can change that for you. But to hate is easy, to love is hard, and I challenge you to choose a different path, because you can do that. You can change. You don't even have to accept it, just let them live, live and let live. And that's all I wanted to say to everybody out there. And, no one's alone. And for those of you who reject us, we love you, because that's all we can do. And, I hope you love yourselves. And those people who are out there bashing gays with each other, they don't love you just because you guys hate something together. That doesn't build a bond. You don't have some community who's willing to stand by you just because you can hate gays. Hate is a burden. And I just hope that you can choose a different path. And, if you want to go back to the religious aspect, if Jesus can love everybody, and you're going to say he can love the sin, or love the sinner but not the sin, like, that's not possible. If you're going to love somebody, you have to love all of them, and you have to love them for who they are. So if you're going to throw Jesus and God in people's face, you're lying to them. And, honestly, I don't think that God would appreciate you guys bashing people and hating people that he has created in his name. And, that's all I wanted to say. So live and let live.